Hey everybody, I'm Joy Purdy, and this is the Purdy Podcast, Discover the Joy. I am so excited to give you these podcasts. Number one, because I do TV news for a living, and I'm usually in a suit or a dress and makeup, and right now I have none of the above, and my co-anchor is the dog. The Purdy Podcast, Discover the Joy, is about bringing you stories of joy and triumph, whether they be bad stories or good stories, but they're experiences that people like you and me, everyday people, have had. So the first story I'm going to share with you is about my coworker, Matt. Matt was at home, stubbed his toe, got a cut, and within a week to 10 days, his foot started turning black. So he goes to the hospital. He has his entire leg amputated above the knee. Above the knee. Can you imagine? Did I mention that we recorded our podcast episode inside the chapel of Brooks Rehab? It took us about an hour to get started, but he helped me with the technical stuff and getting all my cameras and everything together. So, Matt, thank you. And here's a story.
Yeah, I don't remember pushing the button, but it's recording.
Yeah, I mean, there's a red light blinking, so I'm guessing that's recording.
And the countdown's it's counting.
Cool.
So.
Here we go.
Did it. All right.
Congratulations. We're underway.
We are underway. Welcome to the Purdy Podcast. The very first interview.
Wow.
Very excited.
Me too.
Thank you for being the first one.
I'm lucky.
It. So Matt HARMS is my guest. Matt is my coworker, which makes this even more awesomer. Matt's a director at the TV station where I work. And a director, he sits in the control room, and everything you see on TV, he pushes the buttons and decides that is what you are going to see. That's the best way I can explain it.
It's good. That's how I explain it to people. It's kind of TV magic.
So Matt was away for a little while. Some people knew, some people didn't know why he was away from work. We had heard stuff, but then you came back and it was like a whole different scenario, a whole new Matt. So can you tell us what happened? You came back with no leg.
I was at least like 3 or 1/4 new me.
So, and I never got the full story from the very beginning. So what happened?
So, back in October, well, it was late September of 23. I woke up in the middle of the night to go get some water. On the way back, I kicked the leg of my coffee table.
Oh.
It's like an old cast iron coffee table. It doesn't move.
But I bet you your toe did.
And it hurt, yeah. So I looked at him like, oh man, that smarts. Probably gonna lose that toenail, you know. Mm-hmm. Stuff happens. I'm 47 years old. I've stubbed my toe before and lost fingernails and toenails, whatever. Bandage it up and go about my business. Next day, it hurts and it's black and blue and gross, and ended up getting infected. And I was cleaning it, peroxide, and wrap it in some gauze and go to work. It's fine. Over the next probably week or 10 days, the infection turned into gangrene very rapidly.
Like it actually turned the color green.
Turned black.
Black.
Yeah. My foot was black. It started creeping up my leg, which is eventually when I went to the emergency room.
The color black, how far up did it get on
To about my ankle.
Okay.
And I was, typical guy, go to the doctor. I'm like, I can fix it. I can make it better. Just disinfectant. I can fix this. Couldn't fix this one. Kept coming to work, and
You were limping.
I was limping around, and I couldn't smell it, but apparently there was it smelled like dead people, like dead animal almost at times. I couldn't smell it. I think because it was part of me. Like, I don't know, maybe I was used to it or whatever. A coworker, Shay, stopped me in the hallway one day and was like, "You need to go to the hospital." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but like tomorrow's Friday. I'll just get through Friday. I'll go on the weekend, whatever." Saturday, I couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick. I just could not get out of bed. I ended up going that Sunday.
Sick, like to your stomach?
Like fever, like hot, cold, hot, cold. That turns out to be severe sepsis that I had because of the infection. Ironically, that Sunday I was supposed to go look at a motorcycle, and instead went to the emergency room, and the next day got my leg amputated. Come to find out that I was diabetic and didn't know it. That's what kind of fed the infection. They kind of play off each other, and kind of helped to expedite that whole thing, and now here I am.
So when you went in and they looked at your foot, what was their reaction, the doctors?
The first ER doctor I had was like, "Holy crap, your whole leg is coming off. Like, we're gonna amputate your whole leg."
He said that to you?
So yes.
And what was your reaction?
I was kind of like, I'm just kind of looking, I was just looking for help. I was looking for somebody to help me, right? It had gotten out of hand. I know it's my fault. I didn't know all the underlying conditions until later. But I was like, "Look, man, I'm just looking for some help, man. I don't think that that's true, but can you guys help me, you know?" And he went out. I mean, he's an ER doctor. He's all over the place. The nurse comes in more cool-headed and, you know, trying to make the situation a little better, and was like, "Don't worry," you know, and, you know, trying to put my mind at ease. Eventually, they transferred me to a different hospital because they didn't have they weren't really a trauma hospital, right? So they, the doctor was like, "We don't have anybody that's comfortable working on you."
Wow.
I mean, at the time, I was like, "Great, get me out of here then."
So when
As time goes on, you know, you think they're not a trauma hospital. They transferred me to Memorial, who does this kind of stuff, or is better at it, let's say. Yeah, and then, you know, like I said, I was in that ER for 8 hours, went to Memorial, and at 5 o'clock that next morning or afternoon, I was getting a procedure done on my leg.
that didn't even give you time to like ingest all of that and what had happened?
Not really, no. No. Yeah, no, not really. I mean, they had me on a lot of drugs because I was in a lot of pain. I mean, I was eating handfuls of ibuprofen, whatever, to kind of dull it myself leading up to this. And so, I mean, they had me on all kinds of stuff in the ER. So I'm kind of dulled. Anyway, I had 2 different trauma surgeons come in and tell me, like, there's not enough viable material because it had pushed gas, like, under my skin, like, up my leg, right? So it's kind of gnarly, gnarly thing to be afflicted with. So they couldn't make a viable stump. So he had to go above my knee, as close to my knee as possible. And well, it's described to me as a guillotine surgery, where they just like a guillotine, chop it all off right there. And
The muscle, through the muscle,
through the bone, everything. Yeah. It was just, I woke up the next day and it's gone, and, you know, or after, not even the next day, I mean, I think the surgery only took a couple hours, you know. I woke up by 9 o'clock, I think, and was having dinner, and I just remember being really thirsty. Like I just wanted some ice water.
So Matt, in 24 hours, you had gone into the hospital. They had transferred you, and you had your leg amputated.
Yeah, just about 24 hours. I think I went in just afternoon, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think I showed up at the first place, and my surgery, I remember being scheduled for 5 o'clock, that Monday, which was like the 9th of October,
So, and fast forward several months later, you're back at work, and we see such a great attitude, but I can't even imagine what was racing through your head at the time.
So, it was, I don't know. I've gone through so many different feelings, emotions, but I've also had plenty of people supporting me. And like when I woke up in Memorial or got back to my room, I kind of, I was like, man, I really screwed up this time, But also, the staff over there was awesome. Like all the nurses were great at drop on my cane. Sorry. And like keeping you cool. Like making sure everything's all right. And I had some doctors come through and tell me not to worry. Like this one doctor specifically told me not to beat myself up over it. Guys don't go to the doctor. We don't go find out if we're diabetic, or we try to treat things. He had a medical issue going on and collapsed in the parking lot of the hospital and had to be a patient the place where he's a doctor. So
he told you that story.
He told me that directly at my bedside the day after I woke up after my surgery, and just emphasize, just look forward, don't look back at what happened. I mean, take a lesson from it, but focus forward. And it's kind of what I've been doing ever since. I mean, there was parts, like we're sitting in a chapel at Brooks Rehab, right? I spent 3 weeks here, and the people here were, life-changing. From all the doctors to the therapists, and it was amazing experience. Sorry I had to go through it, but if it was going to be anywhere, I'm glad it was here.
So at what point would you say you were at your lowest, and how did you feel then, and what was going on then?
There was some time, so like I remember being here, and there, it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and can't sleep, and just watching stupid TV show, old Bonanza reruns or whatever. I was watching Golden Girls or something. And being super, like I said, man, you really screwed up this time. And I finally had like a cry, like I just let it out. Bawling, ugly crying. And that was kind of the first time that it all kind of sunk in, like, your whole life is different, like, completely 180 from when you walked into that emergency room. Well, hobbled, and I could barely put weight on that foot. There was also, when I got discharged, until I went to work, there was 2 months that I was at my apartment by myself, like, couldn't really do anything. I was in a wheelchair. I was kind of mobile, but not really. It was there was some dark days and nights within that time that I remember. Just days on end of not really eating. Wouldn't take a shower. I'm like, who cares, And then I kind of shake it off and be like, look, there's a lot of people that depend on you, so snap out of it, kind of. I've talked to people, therapists and stuff over the phone, and dealing with it better, but they're also not amputees. They're just, you know, they're just shrinks. So, which is great, but, you know, it's a whole different, when I talk to different amputees, I think helps me out a little bit more. But yeah, there's been some really dark days and nights along the way, that's for sure.
So how do you, and I know you said you would just shake it off, but how do you pull yourself up out of that?
Kind of simple things. I would open my blinds, let some light in the place, take a shower, cook some food, like do something, you know. Maybe try to get a hold of a family. My sister is really good to talk to, at least text with. You know, things like that, just to kind of break it up. Wheel out of my house, you know, up to go check my mail. You know, like at the place in my apartment complex. Just stupid little things like that. I mean, stupid, but like kind of mundane, but they've helped me.
It was an accomplishment.
Yeah. And like letting the sunlight in, I think it goes a long way. Just keeping everything closed and as dark and cold as possible. That's not healthy, you know, as much as I love it. I don't think it's healthy.
I know what was really hard was preparing yourself to come back to work.
Come back to work was a whole nother deal, yeah.
And all the rest of us being there, and not really knowing what happened until literally like the few days before you came in.
Yeah, and I didn't know the extent of who really knew the story, who didn't. Because, like, I mean, you know, like, people work in different shifts. People working in the morning, we don't even ever see. You know what I mean? Because we come in later in the afternoon, those people are gone, you know. They've been there since 3 or 4, 5 in the morning, whatever time they roll in. Besides a couple people that stay and have to do stuff later, we don't ever see them, so they don't ever miss me, you know.
What were you worried about most about coming back?
I think it was my own insecurity about not having a leg anymore. So what was funny, the Friday before I came back was John and Mary's going away party. Mm-hmm. And I was gonna go to that. I didn't have my leg yet though. So I had a lot of trepidation. I was like, man, do I really want to, like, there's a little embarrassment. There's a little bit of, like I said, I don't know who knows the story, who doesn't, who even I haven't seen in years. And then I roll up in a wheelchair, no leg, you know, so there was a lot of that, and just nervous about how people would. I still kind of am to an extent how I don't really care about how anybody views me or whatever, but I can feel you looking, you know, and that it weighs on you a little bit, you know. But I really couldn't care less what your idea, but people I work with, I do care about their opinion to you know, to an extent.
You came back
Yeah.
and you were just joking, just like you were when you left. Joking and laughing. It was like you never changed. So we never saw all those dark days. We just saw this amazingly positive attitude.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not a front, you know, it's just who I am. So I'd see it, it could have gone two ways. I can sit there and be like, oh, I hate everything and it sucks, blah, blah. Or not make fun of it, but I mean, it's there, you know, whatever. Like, let's joke about it. Let's have fun, you know. It is what it happened, you know.
Are you in pain now? No pain?
The only pain is from my physical therapy that I'm doing, trying to learn how to walk. But no, I mean, everything's healed up. Like, I got a real awesome scar, you know? But no, everything's healed fine. I've hit every milestone that's been set in front of me. And
what's your motivation?
Yeah, it's a good question. I just want to walk again. I mean, that's just the carrot I have to get to that goal. I have a date that's set that I want to do it by, and I'm using canes right now. Most of the time I just use one, but use two for a safety security blanket.
When's that date?
Like 10 days from now.
What? And how far, what percentage, where are you? How close are you?
I have a couple more, I have like 3 or 4 more physical therapy sessions before then. I'm doing okay. I don't know if I'll hit that goal. I don't think I'll be walking completely without it. I can use one cane probably by then and be comfortable.
But ultimately, you don't want to use any canes.
Ultimately, yeah.
But there's an even farther ultimately.
Yeah, well, so a longer term goal. So before I got into TV, I was kind of like a ski bum. Like I lived out in the mountains and snowboarded a lot. Moved back to the Midwest and kind of snowboard some, and then I haven't gone for a while. Years and years. But I have a milestone birthday in 2026 that I want to go to Europe and snowboard. And yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to work towards now. Well, I'll learn how to walk first. Then sometime this winter, I got to get on a snowboard and figure out how to do it. Because I can't just go to Europe and be like, this is my first time on a snowboard. Like, that's not happening. Right? In the Alps of Austria. Like, that's not going to work. So at some point, I've researched a couple different, I haven't really contacted anybody about it, but there's a couple different adaptive sports programs a little bit north of here that maybe I'll take a week and go take some classes at some point, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge. But yeah, that's another goal of mine. And then we'll just see what happens from there.
And I'm sure people can see and feel your energy. Your doctors want you to talk to other amputees. I mean, you're the one who had your leg taken off in less than a day and had to deal with all that mentally. And now they want you to talk to others.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm flattered, right? I had a guy come through. His name was Jose. Shout out Jose. He was cool. Like, a lot of this stuff happened like right when I needed to hear it. I've talked to you about it before. I'm like, I don't know that it's all coincidental, but he came through and sat down, and he's an amputee, peer mentor, and we sat there and, BS for like 45 minutes. I got his story, and he, got the abbreviated version, I guess. But I mean, we just sat there and talked about stuff. Like, he told me about, walk around, he's got kids, and he's their T-ball coach. And he's as active as anybody could want to be, and I needed that kind of to hear that at that point too. So I think I could take that, and I mentioned to my sister or somebody when I was in the hospital, I'm like, I think I want to kind of pay it forward like that. And then now fast forward to a few weeks ago when I was in my doctor's office, and he mentioned that he wanted to get me into the peer mentor program or whatever. And I mean, I'm cool with it. We'll see. You know, I feel like I can relate, and I can certainly talk. You know, I call it story time with Harms. Like sometimes I get off on tangents, but I got a lot to share. You know, even without this, you know, I've been through some stuff, man, along the way. So,
Is there something that you do want to share to anyone? I mean, this is a pretty major life-changing.
yeah, like it's not the end of the world. You know, I mean, like I didn't die. I was honestly close to death when I showed up to the to the ER with the sepsis and all that. But you know, it's cliche, but life goes on. Like this isn't the end of your life. You know, you can do whatever you were doing before. I went back to work, and I'm doing most of what I did before. I'm just not. I can't really walk around really great right now, but that's coming. And you know, if you push through those times, I get it, man. I get it. Nobody's there at 4 in the morning, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning when it's still dark out and you're staring out at the, you know, rain coming down outside your hotel room and, you know, wondering why you're even going forward with any of this. Get it. Totally get it. But there's reasons. Find them, you know, whether it's people in your life or I just don't want to let down any of these people, my doctors, my therapists that worked hard to save my life. So let's live life.
Is Matt not amazing? I was inspired just talking to him. A couple of days, I'm going to drop another podcast. I am going to talk to, you know, Matt is at the beginning of his journey. I'm going to talk to someone who represents where Matt hopes to be someday in that realm of comfortableness. Email me at TPP, that is the Purdy Podcast, TPP at joypurdy.com. Let me know what you think about this episode. If you're trying to get in touch with Matt, I can get a message to him. Just let me know what you think. And if there are other topics you want me to address, let me know that too. All right, thanks. Bye.